Hi everybody. Before we get started, I just want to remind you to subscribe to my YouTube channel and give me a thumbs up. And if you don't want to miss a video, hit the bell notification button. So here I am playing with collage soup once again. I am addicted. It's so easy to become addicted because all the great images and just having so many collage images at your fingertips, it is wonderful. Absolutely love it. So I wanted to play with some birds from the Bird Nerd book. And well, let's just say that plans changed a few times. And I mean, that's the way it goes. You plan one thing and then you pick an item that turns you in a different direction and you pick another, and it just sometimes it gets changed up. And yeah, that's what happened. So you saw those birds. I wanted to use those. I cut them all out, all that fussy cutting. I backed them on black paper so they would stand out more against this background. And you know what? Maybe this is a spoiler, but they don't get used. After all that, they don't get used. Now there are watching the video and editing it, it's sometimes I think maybe that's what I should do. Like, once I get so far, I should maybe stop and then go edit what I have so far, because looking at it while editing is so different than looking at it while you're actually doing it. Same thing goes for like when you take a picture of your work. Like if you're undecided about something or you don't know what to do next, taking a picture and walking away and then just looking at the picture from time to time, sometimes that helps a lot. Or I find even when I'm doing the video, like I'll look up on my camera and it looks so different than looking at it, just there on my journal. So this point right here, I think it looks great, and I think it could have been a finished page and that would have been it, and it would have worked. But of course I wasn't happy with that because I didn't do enough. Like, I didn't change enough. It's like, well, anybody can take 2 or 3 pieces of paper and glue them together and not change anything and just layer them on top of each other. And I'm not putting that down. I mean, especially if you just want a, quick journal page just for the sake of getting arty. And honestly, like, the pages in these collage books, it is so easy to do just that, because there are so many pages that you could just cut out and stick some images on top of it and it would be done and it would be beautiful. So I'm not knocking it. It's just I wanted to change it more. I wanted it to look different. Now, backing these birds with the black, it did help in what I was trying to accomplish, like to make them stand out a bit more against the background. Because the background was so colorful and the birds are so colorful. So that's what I was fighting a bit. It's like, it all looked nice, but to me it just felt like there wasn't enough contrast. And so here I go cutting up that background piece. And this is the first change that happened that I really didn't think was going to happen. So I'm cutting away some of this background, and then at this point, once I do this, this is just where it's like one thing changes after another. But in the end, I do like the page. So no worries. And I have birds ready for another page. So look at the page now with, okay, before I put that there, how it looked with the top being bare and just those bottom pieces. Again, looking at it, love it. And even with that separation of the blank page between the bottom and then the sky up top, love that. It's like things you don't notice because while you're playing, you're just so busy, like your mind is going and you're like, I'm doing this. And it's almost like you have tunnel vision and you don't stop to see what's happening because in your head you're like, no, I need to look for this. Like, I cut this away, now I need to replace it. And you don't stop long enough to really look at it and see that, hey, are you seeing this? This looks great. But again, like I said, I do like the finished page, so no worries. It's honestly, this page could have been done so many different ways, and every single one of those ways I would have liked. It was just one of those pages that, I don't know, it was just after editing and seeing it, it's like it could have been done so many different ways and look good. So I thought it would look cool if behind the mountains you could see eyes. I don't know where it came from. It was just, once I cut that away, it was like, ooh, should be like eyes rising up. And then I wanted something in the middle. And I thought about a third eye, but I wasn't sure. And then I thought of it being a sun. But I didn't like the white one. Like once I put the eyes there and the way that it came down in a V because of how it had been cut away from the mountains, I didn't really care for it. So I tried that piece that was actually from that page with the eyes, but I didn't like that either. And I keep cutting away at that part, and I kind of wish that I hadn't done that, but oh well. I even thought about trying to piece together the background and just putting it behind there, but that didn't work either. At this point, I was kind of thinking, what did I do? It had been looking so good, and now I feel like I've screwed it all up. But doesn't it look cool how the eyes are peeking out there? Like, I don't know. I like it. So now I'm looking for a third eye, like particularly like a rounded one, not like a realistic eye, but something that's more circular. And of course, I mean, shouldn't be too hard, right? In the I Spy an Eye book. That's why I knew I had to get this book, because I feel like eyes work for so many different things. And I really liked this one because it was an eye, but also all the yellow around it reminded me of a sun, so it was like perfect. So first I was just trying to cover up the blank space. But then after, when I was playing around with it, I'm like, maybe it could be a cloud. Because again, this is the part I struggle with the most, the very up, like the top of the page. But I do love how that eye looks there. I just wasn't sure what to do with the top of the page. Nothing seemed to be working quite right. So this is where I decide this piece is becoming a cloud, because I love the color and I love the patterns in it. And it just looks so beautiful with the off black and white piece there. Sorry about the ding. So I thought for the upper part I would go with something blue, since it is the sky and everything is already so colorful. So I thought if I could find an all blue piece that it might calm it down a little bit. And also there's blue in the rest of the collage, like very little bit, so I thought it could pull that as well. So I just pulled a blue piece of paper. It's from my collage sheets, the gel printed backgrounds, and it worked great. The blues really looked so close to the blues that are already in the page in the collage. Usually when I go away like that, I'm gone to my paper trimmer. There's such a huge difference in how well this glue works on regular paper versus how it works on the collage papers from the book. Like I was going to pull that up too because it was off a bit on top, but I started to pull it and was like, oh no, this is already almost stuck. Whereas if it was the collage paper, I would have been able to pull it off no problem. See, I'm still second guessing everything I'm doing with that top portion. So I still wanted it to read like a scenery picture, and just those eyes being there, just, I don't know, it's just cool. I think it's cool. It adds a bit of perk to the page. I mean, a scenery picture would be beautiful, but I think having the eyes behind the mountains, that's what makes it collage to me. I know there's all different kinds of collage, but my kind of collage. And at this point, while I'm still doing all this, I had no idea that the birds were not going to come back. I was doing all this thinking it was still a background for the birds. I'm just adding that black there on the sides because the paper didn't go all the way to the end, and I'd rather see black than the natural color of the paper. I don't know about you, but when this is done and I'm looking at it, like when you pull back a little bit and just quickly look at it, I can see, like, I mean, the eyes are there, obviously, so you see, like, a face, but then I find, like, even the mountains and the hills and everything, it's taking the shape of a face, and, like, that bottom piece that was cut in a bit of a swag, like, that big dip in the center is almost like that's where her chin would be, and it was so unintentional, but again, quick glance standing back, it's almost like all the hills and everything form the shape of her face. I thought it was pretty cool how that worked out. And I'm trying again to see if those birds are gonna go, but it just felt like too much fighting each other. So I decided to leave them off. And I was thinking, okay, what can I do with them? But I don't know. That's for another time. I'm not going to figure that out in this video. I found adding those little bit of white lines also made everything pop a little more. It didn't need a whole lot. See, that was her chin. That downward. Let me know if you can see what I'm talking about as well. That is it for my page. I do hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Talk to you later. Bye.